Are you ready to take a good look at the spaceship that became a national icon? I'm talking about NASA's first ever space shuttle. And believe it or not, this space shuttle didn't even reach space, but it sure did turn heads all around the world. Let's see all about how, when, why, and where this was all done. Exactly 47 years ago, on September 17, 1976, the first ever space shuttle was unveiled to the world. This space shuttle was merely a prototype, but even then, it was a big deal. Why? Well, because it marked the beginning of NASA's space shuttle era and humankind's progress to explore space. In this video, let me tell you all about how Star Trek, yeah, the TV series, was connected to this space shuttle and how the shuttle was actually made, and why did it never make it to space. Make sure to like this video before we fly right into space. NASA's first ever prototype space shuttle, called the Enterprise, was launched at the facility in Southern California on September 17, 1976. And it was particularly this day because September 17th is also Constitution Day for the United States. But why do they give it such a boring name? What kind of name is Enterprise? Well, you'll be surprised to know that originally it was called the Constitution. And when the vehicle was launched, the cast of the original Star Trek television series also joined in. Let me tell you all about how the cast actually helped pick the name too. Initially, NASA had chosen the name Constitution in honor of the US Constitution, but super fans of Star Trek wrote lots of letters to the White House asking them to rename the shuttle after the starship Enterprise from the original TV series. Surprisingly, President Gerald Ford agreed to choose the name Enterprise. Who knew that the president was a Trekkie too? But it was just named after a fictional series. It was made a whole different way. The Enterprise was the result of decades of research on flying bodies by NASA. The Air Force and NASA researched methods of flying winged vehicles and built 6 different prototypes that went through over 223 tests. The outer surface was mostly fiberglass instead of thermal protection system tiles, which are the kind of surface you'd need if the shuttle was actually going into space. So while the airframe was similar to its other space shuttle siblings, most of the systems that would make it capable of space travel were never installed. At almost 150,000 pounds, the Enterprise was a relatively light shuttle. This was simply because of the absence of the power shuttle main engines. Fast forward to 4 months later, on January 31st, 1977, NASA took the Enterprise to the Edwards Air Force Base in California. Over the next 9 months, NASA put the shuttle through a series of ground and flight tests, but it still never made it to space. Why? The Enterprise was a fit-check vehicle. A fit-check vehicle is basically one that is used to test and try out the advantages and gaps in a space shuttle in order to develop better ones in the future. The shuttle was mainly used for testing how a shuttle would return to Earth and for launch pad tests. So, even though the Enterprise didn't go into space, it was the reason other shuttles could make it. I mean, who needs to go to space if you can be a star here on Earth? Being a star on Earth reminds me that the iPhone 15 is the star of all conversations today. I mean, those pastel colors of the 15 and the metallic dark shades on the Pros, wow, I am in love with it all. And if you are too, make sure to check into my next video on the iPhone 15. Subscribe to Behind the Date and stay tuned in for more captivating stories, mind-boggling facts, and insane adventures. Let's quench your curiosity and make every day exciting and extraordinary.